Hi everyone, it's BDevine and welcome to Divine Miracles channel and the Tarot mini forecast this week for the fire signs. And I am actually using, I'm just going to move these out of the way, the Cairo Marchetti Gateway to the Divine Tarot, a little bit different for us. And I'm going to do a message for each of the fire signs and also a little bit of a monthly forecast, so just one card for each thing. So here we go. I was actually supposed to make this a little bit sooner, but here I am anyway. Okay, so I'm starting off with Aries. Okay, this is a message for the week for Aries. No, something's telling me to keep going. I was going to stop. Aries. And the Seven of Cups, which actually came out in someone else's reading before. That's for this week. And for the month, the Eight of Wands. Okay, so things happening quickly. Alright. Both of them cards have come out in different ways in other ones today. So the Seven of Cups. Okay, this is for Aries specifically. And what I feel is happening is that there's some sort of romantic dilemma, perhaps. Okay, so I'm getting two sort of messages here. The first one is for those people who have had problems in a relationship, and it's showing that there is a complete finish to that. Maybe you already moved on with somebody else, and there may be some problems going on now with this new situation. Okay, so that's the first sort of little look into it. But the other side of the thing is it's showing you there's a situation in your life, whether you're in a relationship, in a new relationship or in an old relationship, but there is a situation in your life where there's something repeating itself to you, and it can feel like everything that you thought you'd gotten rid of has come back. Okay, so sometimes we can move on from a situation because the person was maybe angry all the time, just for example. And then we've come into a new situation and you see the anger sort of sitting there again, and you're thinking, what's this? And then you think to yourself, well, this person is completely different to you know, my last person, so it can't be the same thing. But that same energy is still there. That same energy of anger, for example, is still there. So there's something going on within you at the moment where maybe there's cracks appearing in a relationship. Maybe there's something that you thought was a certain way and it's not that way. Maybe things are being all too hard. Maybe you're in a situation where it's fine, but you're worrying about it, you know. Maybe the situation is fine, but you're starting to take yourself back into a situation before and maybe sabotaging things, okay? So one, you need to ask yourself, is this my instincts that's going on? Now this could be in any kind of relationship or any kind of life situation. Is this that I'm feeling my instincts? Or is this what I'm feeling, a worry or a concern or a fear? Okay? So if it's your instincts, then it's there without thinking about it. Okay, if it's a worry or concern, you're thinking about it. Okay, and then you're saying, oh, it might be there, you know. You may be creating it in some way. So the best thing to do is pretend that you are watching this situation that's unfolding in your life through someone else's eyes. What advice would you give those people that are going through that? You know, what would you give yourself? What advice would you give yourself going through that situation? You know, would you tell them to take a step back? Or would you tell them to run away? Or would you tell them to be careful? Or would you say, stop worrying, you're being silly? Okay, so these are the answers to your question. Because the Eight of Wands being in there as well for the month, you know, of April, means that once you've made a decision about what you want to do, then things will start happening really quickly. And also very abundantly too. Sometimes I see the Eight of Wands having to do with a mother and daughter situation. Because it's very, even though we've got the Wands cards here, I feel that there is like a connection between two people that is very feminine in nature. Okay, so for me, that's the mother and daughter situation. Maybe it's how you've been feeling about your own mum or your own daughter, or as a wanting of that connection to be there. But whatever it is, I feel that that's something specific here. Also, there could be travel. So there could be travel coming up for April, and you know, it may have something to do with the water. Maybe you're going to the beach, or you're going to stay at the beach, or a lighthouse is involved or something, or you know, you're going on a boat somewhere, you know, which would be amazing. But this is not going to happen until, I was going to say, this ain't going to happen. This is not going to happen until, you know, you thoroughly decide what you're going to do here. Because if there's cracks, for example, if there's cracks happening in a relationship very early on in a relationship, and they're very similar to something that you've been into before, then this is a lesson for you, okay, or an experience for you. And it's time to make that decision whether you want to keep going through that again, or you're going to break free. So something drew you into that situation, and you know, maybe there was needs that were met or whatever happened. Then now it's time to decide whether that's really what you wanted or just what you've attracted because of how you were feeling. Okay, it's really can get deep, I guess. Try not to overthink of all the possible scenarios, but think of yourself. Is this my instincts telling me? Is this my fears talking to me? Okay. So that is the message for Aries for the April. Now we have Leo. By now you guys all realize I'm a Leo, but I'm just detaching myself. Probably still bring a story or two in, but who knows. Leo. Okay, Leo. Alright, Leo, this must be, we need something here, we need something concrete. Leo. Oh, what we got? The 8 of Swords. Okay, so that's for this week. Alright, you can see what's going on there. And for the month. That was it. Oh, Leo. The Tower. Okay, we're not going to freak out too much, okay? Okay, so the 8 of Swords. Let me just have a quick look. All right. Now, you can see here that the girl's trapped in like a spider web. And, you know, all the swords are sort of facing her. But, you know, she can get out if she really wants to get out. But she's just not doing it, okay? It's called illusions, okay? So what's happening with the Leo is that we are in a situation where we feel it's quite... well, it can feel quite confronting and quite difficult, and we may not see our way forward. Maybe there's just too many other people involved in a situation, having too much weight on the situation for us to be able to make this clear thing. Or maybe there's just some sort of hurdle or event that's coming up, and we're not sure of the outcome, so we're trying to think of all the, you know, the different outcomes that could be, okay? Whenever I see the 8 of Swords, I always say to myself, okay, you may be feeling trapped at the moment, but there is a way out and you haven't looked at that yet, okay? So there's going to be a way out of a situation that, you know, hasn't come to the forefront yet because there's still a lot of other things to go on. This is also saying that you've been feeling really different within yourself. You've been feeling a little bit worried of your future. Maybe that is something that you haven't had to worry about before so much, but you're starting to, because you're feeling that you don't know the answer, or you know, something's going to take place and you don't know how that's going to go, and it all depends on how that goes as to whether you're going to get there or not, you know. There's a lot of difficulties going on. So the biggest thing that you can do when, you know, someone else's decision reflects on your life, the biggest thing that you can do is to keep on moving forward with your life and your plans, okay? So if someone doesn't fit into those things, or they're not going to fit in, or that something going to happen that's going to disrupt everything, that you've just kept on moving forward anyway, okay? So even if the worst is happening, and there's separation or something like that going on, even if that's the worst case scenario, that you've continued to move on anyway. You know, you've continued to keep on working and keep on pushing and keep on striving for what you want to do. Otherwise, all of the stress and all of the issues and all other people's problems is going to weigh you down to a fact where you'll just have these breakdowns, you know. And maybe you've already been going through that, where you've just been sort of upset and crying, and it's hard for a Leo to be crying, it's hard for them to grieve, it's hard for them to admit things, you know, and that's been there anyway. And I feel also with this, the Tower card coming up, and we know the Tower has something to do with home or house or where we're living, that perhaps the decisions that you've got to make have to do with something surrounding the home or something surrounding the family, and it's difficult to know exactly what's going to happen. But whenever I see these cards come out, and I was saying this before in another card reading, whenever we see something that's a difficulty kind of a card, so we've got the Tower here being a little bit of a difficult card, you know, we see that coming out, we know that it's going to pass. It's because it's already here with us. I mean, we can keep on getting all these joyful cards and everything, and we know that that's already happening now, you know. But when we see the negative side of the cards like that, or something that may be perceived as negative, we need to remember that that too is here and now. So you're maybe already dealing with these problems, okay? This is saying that you have the strength and resilience to get through it, but make sure that you're checking things. You know, whenever I see the card like this, the Tower does indicate the house. Check your electricity, make sure the gas is turned off, make sure the doors are locked, make sure you have safety first kind of thing going on. Make sure you're asking your angels and guides to be surrounding you and protecting you and uplifting you at this time. Maybe you're giving in to a fear and creating something that you don't need, doesn't need to be there. Remember, we can't make decisions for other people. They are always going to choose what they want to do. And if that means that they're going to do something that is going to you know, break you down or upset you or hurt you in some way, you know, then that is on them and that's their decision. We can't make someone see what's good for them, you know. We just have to keep on moving forward with ourselves, and we have to keep on being the best that we can be with ourselves. And either people will match that vibration and go with us, or they'll be scared of that, you know, and perhaps move away until another time, okay? So whatever's falling away at the moment in your life, or you feel like it has been, or you feel things have been really restricted in that, then with this mindset, when you change your mindset, the experiences will become easier and life will become easier. Don't be so hard on yourself, and be really gentle with yourself in this process. There is going to be some stuff that is just really hard to deal with and issues, but if we take things one step at a time and we don't get all, you know, out of proportion with everything, then we won't cause a problem that doesn't need to be there as well, okay? So that's the message for Leo as well, and for the month. So just take your time, you know, keep on moving forward and try not to worry about things that you have no control over, okay? Instead, have expectations of something even better happening for you, okay? Leo, and now we've got Sagittarius, okay? Sagittarius. All right. Temperance is your card for the week, Sagittarius, and then for the month. And you got the 8 of coins here. Okay, so that's for the month. Alright, so firstly, the Temperance card. This is always a card of finding balance, okay? Finding yourself in a state of everything being equal. So perhaps if things have been up and down, if things have been, you know, difficult for you on different levels, that this is the week where, you know, you start to find yourself again, that you gain some ground, that you get somewhere, okay? There also is a message here about being sure that you're being fair in a situation, that you're not doing something sneaky or underhanded. And you know, there's no judgment here from me, but if you're doing something underhand, it's the feeling here is that it's going to get found out. So you want to be really careful here. You want to feel in balance with yourself, and you want to feel in balance with your actions. And anything that's making you feel worried or frightened or concerned or cheated in any way, you know, you need to release it. It needs to go. It's not going to end well at all. Okay, and it's something that you inevitably know. It may be difficult to pull yourself away from a situation where you've invested a lot of time and energy in, but you know, it's time to put your time and energy somewhere else. This is not going to work for you. That is a message that I'm getting really clearly. And some people will know what I'm talking about there. Other than that, you're walking into something in your life that is going to be exciting and new and different for you. And, you know, you can't be bringing along a lot of the baggage of the past with you. It has to be something new and clear and clean, you know, just like fresh, that kind of feeling. You don't want to be bringing the past into the future. Okay, so be sure that you're releasing, that you're doing a lot of healing, that you're going to see someone if you need to talk to someone about situations, and that, you know, you're feeling empowered when you do so. Because you got the 8 of coins as well for the month. And this is just showing that contemplation, you know, working on skills, working on your own abilities, something maybe study as well, something where you're going to be able to feel peace within yourself, where you're going to feel proud of yourself for the achievements that you've made and for the things that you've done. You know, something that'll make you feel really happy on the inside. And maybe there's been situations, as I was saying before, where you haven't felt pleased with yourself, or you've been looking for recognition from somewhere else and just haven't been getting it. This is saying that, you know, that's because you need to give yourself recognition, that you need to keep on pushing forward, do the things that you want to do, live the life that you want to live. And don't worry about the, you know, everybody else's opinion kind of thing. As long as you're always doing something that's not hurting others, it's always okay. You know, if you're doing something that's hurting other people, you only ever end up hurting yourself in the end, you know. The 8 of coins also points to more work with your hands, more creative work, more art perhaps, maybe, you know, drawing, maybe creating things, maybe setting up a website or something like that. Something more arty, more creative for you, which allows you to think clearly, because you need to be in that balance. That's really important for this month. Okay, so take the time that you need out of situations too. Some of you are pushing too much of yourself into a project, and it's time to pull back that little bit. Okay, and then you can see clearly what's actually going on. Whereas you're trying to be there, you're trying to be up close and you know, right into it. You're trying to be there so you don't miss anything, but you can't see too clearly. So it's time to step back that little bit. Okay, so if any of you want some help with readings or anything like that, I've got some specials going on for Easter. I've got 6 weeks mentoring for the price of 4, which is amazing, and it's already discounted, so it's discounted again. And also some of my readings are going to be half priced for the Easter holiday. So hopefully, because I don't go anywhere obviously, I'll be there if you need someone. You know, hopefully you're okay over Easter. Be really safe and have an awesome time with your family. And until the next time, wishing you every happiness and abundance, and goodbye for now. Bye. The video won't stop.